The clock on Ethan's wall struck 1 p.m. when he heard the familiar buzz of the intercom. He quickly saved his work, closed his laptop, and rushed to answer. It was his daily lunch delivery, the highlight of his afternoons. "Package for Mr. Ethan Morgan," announced the delivery person, a young man with a friendly smile. "That's me," Ethan confirmed, reaching for his digital pad to sign. His stomach growled in anticipation as he scribbled his signature and exchanged pleasantries with the courier. "Enjoy your meal, sir," the delivery person said before heading back to his motorcycle. Ethan carried the package back to his home office, where 3 monitors displayed complex code and data analytics. As a high-paid software engineer for Next Tech Solutions, he specialized in creating customized security systems for corporate clients. His desk was cluttered with gadgets, papers, and empty coffee mugs, evidence of his busy lifestyle and singular focus on work. Finally, he muttered, settling into his ergonomic chair that had cost him nearly $2,000. "The best part of my day." With careful movements that contrasted with his usual hurried demeanor, he unwrapped the package from Sunnyvale Kitchen, a local eatery run by Mrs. Rivera. The aroma of spiced rice and curry chicken filled his nostrils, making him smile with anticipation. "Unwrap taste, unleash joy," he whispered to himself, a personal mantra he'd developed over years of takeout meals. This little ritual had become sacred to him, a brief pause in his otherwise relentless workday. Ethan didn't wait to savor the first bite. He scooped a generous portion and swallowed it quickly, followed by another. It was only on the 3rd spoonful that he noticed something unusual, a slight movement beneath the rice. He paused, spoon suspended midair. "What the?" he murmured, using his utensil to spread the rice apart. His eyes widened in horror as he uncovered a large spider struggling to escape from beneath his meal. The creature's legs were partly melted from the hot sauce, but it was still very much alive, fighting to free itself from the sticky sauce. Ethan jumped up so quickly his expensive chair toppled backward. His stomach lurched as he realized he had already consumed 2 large spoonfuls from the same plate. "Jordan!" he shouted, calling for his neighbor. "Jordan!" Ethan and Jordan had been neighbors for 3 years in the upscale Oak Ridge apartments. While they moved in different social circles, Ethan in tech and Jordan running a local cleaning service, they had developed an unusual friendship. Jordan often helped with Ethan's laundry in exchange for Ethan's assistance with his accounting software. Jordan's footsteps pounded down the hallway before he burst through Ethan's unlocked door, concern evident on his face. "What's wrong? Are you hurt?" Jordan asked, breathing heavily. Wordlessly, Ethan pointed at the plate on his desk. Jordan approached cautiously, leaned over to look, then let out a long sigh when he spotted the spider. "Again with the takeout," Jordan said, shaking his head. "How many times have I told you about eating from just anywhere? Learn to cook, hire a personal chef, find someone who can help with these things, but you refuse every suggestion." Ethan's face hardened. "Are you making fun of me? I just found a spider in my food. How could I make fun of you?" Jordan replied, his voice tinged with frustration. "You're a brilliant software engineer making 6 figures. Why can't you take care of your basic needs? Go to the market, buy groceries, learn to cook something simple. Or hire someone if you can't be bothered, you can certainly afford it." Jordan gestured around the expensive apartment filled with the latest tech but notably lacking in kitchen supplies. "You've turned your kitchen into another workspace. I don't think you've ever used that stove." Ethan sighed heavily, running his fingers through his disheveled hair. "You don't understand, Jordan. I don't have time. My clients expect immediate responses and quick turnarounds. Every minute I spend cooking is money lost." "Oh, Thank you for reminding me that as the owner of a small cleaning service, I have an abundance of free time, Jordan replied sarcastically. My friend, open your eyes. Health is wealth. Your body isn't a machine you can just replace parts in when they break down. Jordan walked over to the plate and examined it more closely. And you never even go to proper restaurants. It's always the cheapest options, Mrs. Rivera's place now. Before that it was Mrs. Pham's corner shop, then Mrs. Guzman's food truck. Before that, you were obsessed with Mrs. Daniel's home delivery. Among all of them, Mrs. Rivera offers the lowest prices, which is precisely why you stick with her. Ethan wasn't really listening anymore. In his mind, Jordan's concerns were typical of someone who didn't understand the demands of high-level tech work. These people with simple jobs, he thought dismissively, they have all the time in the world for trivialities like cooking and cleaning. I am building revolutionary security systems. While Jordan continued his lecture, Ethan considered himself pragmatic, even enlightened. In his worldview, maximizing income was the objective measure of success. Things like cooking, laundry, or cleaning were unproductive time wasters that could be outsourced. His neighbor handled his laundry, local restaurants satisfied his hunger, and he employed Mrs. Delgado once a month to clean his apartment. I appreciate your concern, Ethan finally said, cutting off Jordan's monologue. But I have a deadline in 3 hours. Could you help me dispose of this? He gestured to the contaminated food. Jordan shook his head but complied, carefully wrapping the food in multiple bags before taking it to the building's trash chute. When he returned, Ethan was already back at his computer, typing furiously. I'll order something else, Ethan said without looking up. Thanks for your help. One day, this lifestyle will catch up with you, Jordan warned before leaving. His words hung in the air, unheeded. 3 weeks later, Ethan met Olivia Carter at a tech conference. She was presenting her work on AI-driven market analysis, and her brilliance immediately caught his attention. Olivia headed the data science department at Vertex Analytics and, like Ethan, valued career achievement above all else. During their coffee break conversation, Ethan was pleasantly surprised to discover that Olivia shared his views on domestic matters. Cooking, she laughed when he mentioned Jordan's persistent advice. Who has time for that? My refrigerator contains nothing but energy drinks and a few protein bars. Exactly. Ethan replied, feeling an immediate connection. People don't understand that our minds are our most valuable assets. Every minute spent on mundane tasks is a minute wasted. Despite the spider incident, Ethan continued ordering from Mrs. Rivera's kitchen. Her food was still the cheapest and, in his opinion, the tastiest option nearby. On their third date, he introduced Olivia to Sunnyvale Kitchen's delivery service. The lemon chicken is amazing, he assured her as they waited for their order in his apartment. And they deliver until midnight, which is perfect for our work schedules. Olivia had found her ideal partner, someone who didn't expect her to conform to traditional roles. Their relationship progressed quickly, and within 6 months, they were married in a small ceremony attended by a few colleagues and Jordan, who served as Ethan's best man despite their differences. The newlyweds bought a spacious condominium in the prestigious Westview Heights, overlooking the city. Their state-of-the-art kitchen remained pristine and unused. Not a single pot, pan, or cooking utensil could be found in the gleaming cabinets. Instead, they converted half the kitchen space into a mini home office with dual monitors and ergonomic seating. Together, they created a life centered around professional achievement. Both worked remotely most days, breaking only for delivered meals and occasional walks around their upscale neighborhood. They planned to accumulate substantial wealth before even considering children. Their system seemed perfect until 3 months into their marriage when Ethan woke up at 2 a.m. with severe stomach cramps and vomiting. Olivia rushed him to Mercy General Hospital, where doctors administered fluids and medication for what they diagnosed as food poisoning. It happens, the attending physician, Dr. Matthews, told them. Probably something you ate. 2 weeks later, it was Olivia's turn. Her symptoms were even more severe, violent vomiting accompanied by bloody diarrhea and a high fever. Again, they found themselves in the emergency room at Mercy General. This pattern continued with alarming frequency. Almost every weekend, either Ethan or Olivia would experience digestive distress severe enough to warrant medical attention. Their medicine cabinet began filling with prescription medications, and their shared calendar app now included regular reminder notifications for doctor appointments. During their second joint hospital visit in a month, Dr. Matthews ordered comprehensive blood tests and stool samples from both of them. "This isn't normal," he explained while checking Olivia's for. "The frequency of your symptoms suggests either an underlying condition or consistent exposure to something harmful." When the test results arrived 3 days later, both Ethan and Olivia were stunned. The report showed significant levels of various toxins and evidence of parasitic infections in both their systems. "This is intentional," Ethan declared, pacing their living room while Olivia rested on the couch. "Someone must be jealous of our success. They've probably bribed the delivery people to tamper with our food." Olivia weakly nodded her agreement. "It could be corporate espionage. My team is developing a revolutionary market prediction algorithm. Maybe competitors want to slow our progress." They decided to change their strategy. Instead of having food delivered, they would personally visit Sunnyvale Kitchen each morning to place their orders and watch as their food was packaged. "Let's see how our enemies can poison us now," Ethan said confidently. "Whether they're using conventional methods or somehow managing it remotely, we'll eliminate the middleman." Yet their precautions proved futile. The following weekend, Olivia was rushed to the hospital for the third time in 6 weeks. As she recuperated in the hospital bed, feeling weak and defeated, she turned on the television to distract herself from the constant discomfort. The local news was broadcasting, and what she saw made her suddenly sit upright despite her weakness. "Ethan," she called out to her husband, who was working on his laptop nearby. "Look at this." The news report showed health inspectors from the city health department conducting surprise inspections of local restaurants. The reporter, Patricia Winters, was standing outside a familiar establishment, Sunnyvale Kitchen. Following an anonymous tip from a customer, Patricia explained, health officials conducted an unannounced inspection of this popular local eatery. What they discovered has resulted in its immediate closure. The broadcast cut to footage captured by hidden cameras that had been installed by investigators. The images showed the back area of Sunnyvale Kitchen where the cooking took place. Olivia and Ethan watched in horror as the camera revealed a kitchen that resembled an abandoned cellar more than a food preparation area. The walls were covered with thick cobwebs housing numerous spiders. The floor was caked with layers of grease and food debris that appeared to have accumulated over months. The cooks themselves wore stained clothing and handled food without gloves, occasionally wiping sweat from their foreheads with the same hands that prepared meals. Most disturbing of all was the open sewer drain visible just steps away from where food was being prepared. Rats could be seen freely moving between this drain and the kitchen area, occasionally stopping to nibble on food scraps that had fallen to the floor. The customer who had reported the conditions explained in a disguised voice, "I accidentally entered the kitchen area while looking for the restroom. What I saw was so revolting that I immediately became ill. No amount of hunger could make me eat food prepared in such conditions." The health department spokesperson detailed numerous critical violations that had been documented, including rodent infestation, improper food storage, inadequate hand-washing facilities, and contaminated preparation surfaces. "This establishment will remain closed indefinitely," the official stated firmly. and the owner will face significant fines and potential criminal charges for endangering public health. Ethan and Olivia stared at each other, the realization dawning simultaneously. There was no conspiracy against them, no jealous competitor trying to sabotage their careers. The source of their recurring illnesses had been right in front of them all along, the deplorable conditions in which their daily meals were prepared. All this time, Ethan whispered, his face pale. All the money we've spent on hospital bills and medications, Olivia added, shaking her head in disbelief. The moment they were discharged from the hospital, Olivia insisted they visit Culinary Creations, the premium kitchenware store at the local mall. They spent 3 hours selecting essential cooking equipment, quality pots and pans, sharp knives, cutting boards, measuring cups, and small appliances like a food processor and stand mixer. That evening, they cleared out their makeshift office from the kitchen space and began unpacking their purchases. Ethan used his tablet to search for beginner cooking tutorials while Olivia downloaded several meal planning apps. I found a 6-week online course called Cooking Basics for Busy Professionals, Ethan announced, already entering his payment information. It's 3 hours per week, and they provide shopping lists in advance. Olivia looked up from arranging their new pots on a rack. I found one specifically for meal prep, teaching how to cook multiple meals in one session. We could dedicate Sunday afternoons to preparing food for the entire week. They approached learning to cook with the same determination and analytical thinking they applied to their professional projects. Ethan created spreadsheets to track their progress and ingredient inventory, while Olivia researched nutrition and food safety protocols. Jordan was stunned when he visited their condo a month later and found Ethan carefully chopping vegetables for a stir-fry while Olivia monitored rice cooking on the stove. "Am I in the wrong apartment?" he joked, leaning against the door frame. Ethan grinned. "Turns out you were right all along. We just needed the proper motivation to see it." Which came in the form of 3 hospitalizations and thousands in medical bills, Olivia added ruefully. Over the following months, they developed a sustainable routine. Weekday breakfasts consisted of overnight oats or quick egg dishes they could prepare in minutes. Lunches were packed the night before, and dinners were either freshly cooked simple meals or reheated portions from their weekend meal prep sessions. They still occasionally ate at restaurants, but only after researching their health department ratings and, when possible, observing the cleanliness of the establishment firsthand. Their new rule was simple: if they couldn't see the kitchen, they wouldn't eat the food. 6 months after their cooking journey began, Ethan and Olivia realized another benefit of their lifestyle change: neither had visited the hospital once during that period. The chronic digestive issues that had plagued them had disappeared completely. Their energy levels had improved, and both found they could focus better during work hours. "We've actually saved money," Ethan noted one evening as he reviewed their finances. "Between the reduced medical expenses and spending less on overpriced deliveries, we're ahead by several $1,000s this quarter alone." Olivia nodded while stirring a pot of homemade soup. "And the cooking itself has become a nice break from staring at screens all day. It's almost meditative." They had discovered what Jordan had tried to tell them all along: that taking time to prepare their own food wasn't just healthier but ultimately more efficient than dealing with the consequences of convenience-driven choices. The spider in Ethan's food months earlier had been not just a disgusting surprise but a warning they had failed to heed until it was almost too late. When they hosted a dinner party for their colleagues, Jordan proudly watched as his formerly kitchen-averse friends confidently served a 3-course meal they had prepared themselves. As guests complimented the food, Ethan raised his glass in a toast. "To unexpected life lessons," he said, nodding toward Jordan. "And to the realization that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is take care of yourself first." The story of Ethan and Olivia serves as a reminder that regardless of how busy or successful you become, outsourcing your basic health needs to unknown sources can lead to serious consequences. Taking the time to prepare your own food isn't a luxury or a waste of productive hours, it's an investment in your well-being and, ultimately, your ability to pursue all other goals. If you must eat at restaurants, be selective and vigilant about their cleanliness and food safety standards. Remember that what you cannot see, the conditions in which your food is prepared, may be more important than the taste or convenience it offers. After all, as Ethan and Olivia learned, health truly is wealth, and no career success can compensate for compromising it. If you enjoyed this story, kindly subscribe to the channel.